And we're going to be guiding rockets through the solar system. And while we're doing this, we're learning about computing science. But we're not using any computers to do it because this is an unplugged computing science activity. I wonder if you know what unplugged means. Yeah, it means something that's not plugged in. So we're not using any kind of computers, tablets, or devices this morning to do any of this. And this is what you're going to need. So if you want to take part alongside us, this is what you'll need. If you don't have it, like I said, don't worry, you can try it later on. So some sort of Play-Doh or plasticine would be great. And some tools to help you to create your aliens. So you might have rolling pins, you might have some scissors, you might have different modelling tools. And it would also be handy if you have some books that have pictures of aliens in them, just to help you have a wee think about what your aliens might look like. Or you may have already looked this up online, you may have done some research and looked on your computers or your tablets for pictures of aliens. Then for the second activity, when we're going to guide our rockets through the solar system, you might want to join in like this. You might already have a big piece of paper, or you might have a small piece of paper. But don't worry, because we've got some pictures on the screen that we're going to show you. It would be useful if you had some pens beside you or pencils, because when you're going to guide your rocket through the solar system, it might be hard to remember all the steps that you're going to take, all the directions that you're going to use. So having a little note of them would help you. It would be a good memory jogger. And when we talk about instructions to guide our rockets through the solar system, we can use another word. We can use this word called algorithm. I wonder if anyone knows what an algorithm is. It's instructions, it's a set of rules. Okay. So these are the things that we've already sent out to all the teachers that are joining us this morning. You might have them already, you might not, that's all right. Okay, so Isabella, will I hand over to you now for this first part, because I'm going to join in with you boys and girls. So I'm going to pop another camera on so that you can see me. Can you see my hands?
Brilliant.
That's right. So too.
If you do have your plasticine or Play-Doh with you, then you might want to do this alongside us. But otherwise, we can just help Eva with her activity that she's doing. So in this part of the activity, it's called Amazing Aliens, and we are going to make our own little aliens. And so, like Eva mentioned, you might have looked at pictures of aliens to give you some ideas about how you might want your aliens to look. I can see Eva's got some different colours of Play-Doh in front of her. And we might want to think, when we've got a job like this to do, we might think, okay, how will I start? What shall I make first? So you might decide, I'm going to make the body of my alien first. Or you might decide, I'm going to make the head of my alien first. And you might have to choose a colour. And you might have to decide on a shape. So there's lots of choices we have to make. Eva, have you got any ideas about which part of your alien you might make first?
I think I'm going to make the body first, because that's the bit that I'll need to support the rest of it so that it doesn't fall over. So I'm thinking of the body.
Okay, so and have you picked a colour?
Right, I'm going to start with red.
Okay, great. So Eva's going to start to make the body of her alien from the red Play-Doh, and you can do the same if you're joining along in your classroom. So she's going to decide on a shape. What kind of shape do you think, Eva?
For a round shape, like a kind of circle, a sphere. I'm going for this. Okay,
perfect. So we've got a nice red sphere coming along nicely. And then what do you think you might want to make next?
I've got a little tail here. I think my alien's going to have a tail.
Nice, that's nice. And you might decide it's going to have a long curly tail, or it's going to have a short spiky tail. So you can play around with your different colors, different shapes, and we need to think, right, okay, so we've got the body done. Eva's just finishing off the tail. And then what might we make next in our alien? It's looking very good.
I've given this one a bit of a long neck, so a bit of a sort of giraffe neck here.
Lovely. Okay. Are we going to have any? Are we going to have a head on top of that neck? Is it going to be a different color or the same?
It's not going to have a head, this
Ah,
one. No, it's a headless alien,
oh
but
my
it is
goodness.
going to have antennas.
Oh, that's
Sort of
cool. Okay.
floppy antenna, if you can see
That's a
that.
good addition. How many antennas is it going to have?
Going to have two
Two.
antenna.
Okay. Is it going to have any eyes?
It's going to have eyes on its tummy. This is a really, really strange creature, a really strange alien, and
And
it's
what color will its eyes be?
going to have yellow eyes.
Okay.
It's going to have three. It's a three-eyed alien with a
Fabulous.
tail, no head, and two floppy antenna.
Amazing. Let's have a look. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so we've got a round body, we've got a tail, we've got two antennae and a long neck, and we've got three yellow eyes. Perfect. Okay, amazing. And while we're making our aliens, we might think, oh, what else can I try? Or how does that look so far? So we're kind of thinking, am I pleased with it? Would you say you're happy with that one, Eva?
Yeah, it's very unusual. Very
Brilliant.
unusual.
Okay. Now, when you've made your aliens, you'll probably want to have a look at your friends and look at their ideas and see how they compare to yours. And what we can do once we've got a few aliens is we can kind of try and put them into groups. And we can put them into groups by looking for patterns, looking for things that are similar about them. And I can see there that Eva has been so busy making her aliens. She's got a
I've had
few there.
too much fun this morning.
She's got a few there, and you can see they're all little different, or some look quite similar to me. Yeah, some look quite similar. Oh my goodness, Eva, you've made so many. So when you've got all your aliens,
Top one.
children, you might want to do something like this too. Um, so what I wonder if we could do is start to look, are there any things that are similar about any of those aliens? Are there any patterns we can spot or things that are the same? If you have an idea in your classroom, you can feel free to put a message into the chat if you'd like to. Or if you want to unmute your microphone and show your camera if you want to, or not if you don't, then perhaps you can spot some things that are the same. I've got a couple of ideas here, but I'll give you a minute just to think about that. So I can see, that one you just moved, Eva. I could see that one had something on its head that I think was similar to something you just made. Okay. Yeah, that's a good view. Yeah. I wonder, can anyone spot what's the same about those two?
Give you a clue, it's at the very top.
Hmm.
Both have two something at the very top. On this alien, they're kind of sticking up more. On this alien, they're more floppy.
That's right. Is it the antennae on top of it?
It is, yeah.
They've both got two red antennae. Amazing. Now, the one you just made had a tail.
Yeah.
Did you make any others with tails?
Yeah.
So that might, let's have a look at those. Might they be some, that one's got a little yellow tail. Oh, look, they've both got yellow tail. Okay, so that's something that's similar about those two. So two different ones. I can see in front of you, there's two that both look kind of stripy. Oh, they're very
With
cute.
green, those are completely matching.
Oh, they're completely matched. You made two identical ones.
But this
Amazing.
one and this one, they do have a feature that is the same, but it's a little bit different.
I wonder if anyone can spot that. What's the same about those two aliens? But it's not identical, is it? Does
They
anyone
both
want to?
have something along their back.
They do. I wonder, do they both have those striped backs?
Yeah, they both have 3 stripes on their
3
back.
stripes. So if we wanted to, what we could do is if we wanted to kind of organize our aliens, we might want to sort them into different groups. And you might do things with other things in your classroom about sorting. We sometimes do sorting with different shapes and colors, don't we? So I was thinking maybe we could sort like all the ones with stripes onto one side and all the ones that didn't have stripes into another group, something like that. You might do this at school with like big hula hoops or something like that, or just big sheets of paper. And Eva's got a sheet of paper in front of her there. So she's got 2 different coloured sheets. And so she can use them really easily to sort her aliens into groups. Amazing. So I can see we've got 4 stripy aliens. And then on the blue sheet, we've got the aliens that don't have stripes. So what we're doing, children, is we're kind of looking for things that are the same and things that are different. I wonder if there's another way we could sort. So not by stripes, but by something else. We've talked a little bit about some of the features they have. Features are just things that the different aliens have, like heads or legs, for example. Can anyone think of another feature that we could sort our aliens by? So not stripes, but something that some of them have in common.
So with these 3 aliens, they have the same something of body. The same.
Yes. What is that? Is it that they have the same colour body?
They're all yellow. They all have yellow bodies.
Ah, great. So we could also sort our aliens into groups of colour, couldn't we?
We could.
And let's have one more sort. What about, I think some of the aliens had antennae. Did you make any that didn't have antennae?
Yeah, so these don't have antennae. These have arms, or maybe could they be wings?
Oh, they're very good.
These have one eye as well.
Ah, that would be a good thing to sort by,
Ah,
wouldn't it?
yeah.
Number of eyes. We could actually make our sorting a bit trickier, couldn't we? We could have more than 2 groups if we wanted to. We could have aliens with 1 eye, aliens with 2 eyes, aliens with no eyes. So we could make that quite tricky, couldn't we? So what we're doing when we're putting these together is we're thinking we can explain why we've put them into different groups, and we can explain our thinking and our choices, and that's called logical thinking, when we think about how we're thinking. So I can see Eva there's made 3 sets there, 3 different groups. Do you want to explain what those groups are, Eva?
This one has 3 eyes in this group. There's only one of them. And in this group, we have our one-eyed aliens. So we have 2 of them. And then in the last group, we have our no-eyed aliens. These are aliens that do not
So
have any eyes.
I think you the group with the most in there is the one with no eyes, isn't it? So most of the aliens you made had no eyes. That would be really fun if you have a chance to make some aliens later, children, and then you can sort them into groups like this, and you can see what they have in common with each other, what features they have in common. Brilliant.
Well, that was fun. I
Okay.
enjoyed that this morning.
Good, good. I think I might have a go later too, because I'm missing out now on making those aliens. All right, so for the adults, we were talking a little bit about the different concepts and approaches. So these are the parts of computational thinking we were thinking about. We were creating, so Eva was creating her lovely aliens. We were looking for patterns when we spot things that are different or things that are the same. That helps us to discover pattern. And we were using logical reasoning. So we were thinking about how we were putting them into groups and explaining our reasons for that. So lots of computational thinking skills. Well done, everyone, if you are helping along in your classroom.
Okay, so our next activity It's called Super Space Chase. And this is the one where we speak about using the rockets to guide them through the solar system. So you might have your pieces of paper ready like this, or alternatively, you can play along with us on screen. So I just need to share my screen over here. And I wonder if I do this, it'll probably stop sharing this one. But that's okay. So we're going to create an algorithm. So remember that important word from earlier on, which is a set of instructions. And we're going to guide our rockets through the solar system to reach one of the planets. So we're going to start off doing this with a quite simple instruction, quite a simple algorithm. And then it's going to get a little bit trickier as we go on. Okay, so again, you might need your pens or your pieces of paper to write down your instruction. And then you can call out, you can pop your microphones on and call out and tell us. You can help us, you can guide us through the solar system. So let me just share this screen here.
For the adults, the teachers in the room and the adults, the pictures that you can see there are the ones that you can print out from the Barefoot website. So you've had the link, oh, that's a bit blurry. You've had the link sent to you of these printouts, but they all come with the activity. So if you didn't want to write down your algorithm on a screen, you could maybe print it out and make a little.
All we have here is a PowerPoint slide. We have the background, which is just a picture with Creative Commons of the solar system. And then I just used the insert table to map out the grids because that then helps us count and it gives us a little bit more accuracy because as you know, we all take steps, in different lengths, different sizes, and we all move the mouse in different sizes. So this will just help us be that wee bit more precise. Okay, I am ready to direct my rocket.
Okay, so what was our instruction again, Eva, for this one? Which planet are we trying to get to?
We're trying to get to the yellow planet first. Okay, so it's quite close, so this hopefully won't be too tricky. And down at the bottom of the screen, we have here, we've got our instructions, so we know, what direction we can move in.
Okay, so I can see go forwards, go backwards, turn left, turn right, and we've also got some starts and stops that we might want to use as well for our algorithms. So I wonder, does anyone have any ideas? I'm going to get thinking too. If you want to call out or pop it in the chat, feel free. So there's our rocket. He needs to get to the yellow planet. Okay, so first I need to think of which direction it needs to travel in. I think it needs to go forward. And then I need to count how many steps on my grid it needs to move. So do we want it to end up right on top of the yellow planet?
Yes, it's going to land right on top of the planet.
Right. Okay, so I think that's going to be forwards and then forwards again. So forwards 2 steps.
Let's try.
Forwards.
1, 2.
Amazing.
Landed
Brilliant.
on the planet.
Perfect. Okay, that wasn't too hard. Should we try one that's a little trickier?
Let's try this one. This time we're aiming to reach the blue planet.
Okay. Right, let's have a think.
There's a few different ways, I think there's a few different routes we could take here, but what we need to remember is when we move forward or move backwards, we actually move, okay? So we'll move a square at a time, but the left turn and the right turn instruction means we just turn on the spot, okay? So we don't actually move in distance. We either just turn left or we turn right. If you have bee-bots, it's a bit like moving like a bee-bot.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eva said there's a few different ways. I think I can see a couple of different ways. It doesn't really matter which way you choose, as long as it gets there in the end. I'm going to try and choose like quite a direct way. So one of the quickest ways I think I can find. So I think, Eva, should we try going forwards first? One step forwards.
One step forward.
Okay, now, so I'm going to need to turn. So remembering that the rocket turns on the spot, I'm going to say, is that a left or a right? Let me work it out. Okay, so I'm going to say one right turn. So turn right.
Right.
Excellent. Okay, so turned right. Perfect. So now the rocket's heading in the correct direction. And now if we imagine, a bit like the Bee-Bot, if you've used one, if we imagine we're facing the same way as the rocket, we're actually, I think, going to need to go forwards again. I think we're going to need to go 1, 2, 3 steps.
Right, let's try. 1, 2, 3.
Amazing.
And
Now,
we've
you know
made
what?
it.
That was quite a few instructions to remember, wasn't it? And we said that our instructions, when we put them together, it's called an algorithm, which is a really important word in computing science, an algorithm. And sometimes when you've got loads of instructions, it's much easier to write them down. So if you do have some paper or a whiteboard, you might want to be writing these down. Or if you try it later, you could write the algorithm down. It's quite hard to keep all those instructions in your head, but we made it. Well done. Okay, should we try another?
Let's try. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this one's a bit different. We've not started in the same position. And this time we're trying to go to the green planet. However, there is a bit of an obstacle in our way. Can you see this sort of brown, kind of grey shape with circles on it? This is an asteroid and we want to avoid that, because if that bumps into our rocket, well, that would be our mission would be over.
Okay, so we need to avoid the asteroid and we need to make our rocket travel to the green planet. Okay, so I definitely can't turn right where I am there. So I'm going to have to go forwards, I think, because I'm looking carefully at the way the rocket is pointing. It's actually on the side already, isn't it? So maybe I'll try going 1 step forwards.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to need to do another turn. So I need to work out if it's left or if it's right. I think that's a right turn. So 1 right turn.
Right.
Okay, that's good. So
There we
from
go.
here, I wonder, can anyone work out what do I need to do next? I'll give you a minute to talk about that in your classes. What do we need to do with the rocket next to get it to the green planet? How many steps do we think it needs to be? Okay, I think, Eva, I'm going to go for 1, 2, 3. Can we try 3 forward steps?
Okay, let's try. 1, 2, and 3.
Fabulous. So we managed to avoid the asteroid. Now I was trying to think of how many instructions we had. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different instructions in that algorithm. So quite a long algorithm. So that was amazing. Brilliant. And what I was thinking also, if you want to do this later, you could even make your own grids, couldn't you? You could design your own planets and pop them on some paper and see if you can make a little rocket to travel around the grids. That would be really fun. Oh my goodness, this one looks really complicated.
This
Look at
is
all
a
those
big mission,
asteroids.
this one, isn't it? So in this one, we are trying to reach the yellow planet. So remember that first planet, the one that looks a bit like Saturn with a ring around it? That is where we are aiming to get to. But oh my goodness, look at all the asteroids.
This is a
Is there
challenge.
more than one way? Let's find out.
Let's have a look. Right, first I'm going to have a look and I'm going to have a think. So I could take it around the top.
We might have to do this one in small chunks and
Oh, I
little
think so.
steps, I
There's
think.
so many
Yeah.
steps in this one. I'm going to see if I can take it around the top, I think, because that looks slightly easier to me. So, okay, I'm going to break this down, and we call that decomposition, where you take something which is quite big and we break it into little chunks to make it a bit more manageable. So I'm going to break it into little chunks, little steps, and because the rocket's already on its side, I'm going to say forwards 2 steps. So forwards, forwards.
1, 2.
Great.
Oh, can't go forwards anymore.
Just missed the asteroid. Okay, perfect. Now I need to do a turn. So I would like to do 1 right turn, please. Excellent. Okay. And then let's go forward one. Hopefully in your classroom, you're helping us with these instructions. We need a turn. Is it left or right? I think that is a left turn, please.
Turn.
So we
Yes, because
turn
if we
on the
turned
spot.
to the right, we would have been facing the other asteroids along the top.
Absolutely. Right, now I need to do a little bit of counting. So which way shall I go? Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll have 4 forwards, please.
Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, amazing. Right, is it going to be a left or is it going to be a right? And I'll have 1 left turn, please.
1 left turn.
1. And could we go 1 step forward, please?
1 step forward.
Okay, I think I probably needed 2 steps forward there. That's okay, because we can add to it. That's fine. So we'll go
1 more
2.
step.
And don't forget, if you make a mistake when you're plotting your way through or making an algorithm, that's fine, because you can just go back and check it. Actually, that has a special word. Don't know if any of you know that word. When you make a mistake and you spot it and fix it, it's called
So
debug.
let's say we went 1 step too forward here. Okay,
Yeah.
and we got down to the green planet. We could reverse, we could go backwards, because
Yeah.
remember, we can move backwards as well.
Yeah, that's called debugging. So we've just debugged our algorithm. We found our mistake and we fixed it. So it's no problem at all. All right, so I'm almost there, I think. This is a confusing one because
We're
I have to
upside
work
down.
out my turn and I'm upside down. I'm going to go for 1 right turn, please.
Right turn.
Fabulous. We're almost there, everyone. And what do we need to get to the end? You can shout it out. 1 step forward,
Forward,
please.
and we've made it. There we are.
Amazing. That was a long algorithm.
That
I
was.
think I definitely would write that one down if I was
Yeah.
doing it in my classroom.
And do you know what helped me, boys and girls, was I pretended that I was in the rocket and I was looking out the front of the rocket. And that helped me to remember that I was always facing forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully you can have a bit of fun with that activity in your class, in your classrooms, whether you do it on the big screen or whether you decide to do it on the floor, on paper. If you have a Bee-Bot, you could even like dress your Bee-Bot up as a rocket, couldn't you? And you could make some nice planets to move your Bee-Bot around to. That would be fun.
You can do it in the playground as well. So if you have some chalk to draw out a grid, you could then become the rocket. And some of your friends could be the planets and others could be the asteroids. That's good fun too.
Yeah, so many ideas that you could do with that one.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed our live lesson this morning. I know I have. I especially liked making the Play-Doh aliens this morning. That was good fun. And thinking about the differences and the similarities in them, that really got my brain working this morning. So I hope that you have enjoyed it and that you have a little try with this later on. And this is something that you can try at home as well. Up on the screen here for your teachers, we've put some links. And this one here in particular, the early years Barefoot link, is where you can find activities like this one today and others similar, where you can download materials. You have all the teacher notes there as well. And there's also try at home activities. So there's also some home learning activities there that you can share with your families as well. If you are going to be carrying out any of these lessons later on, if you take some pictures of them, please do feel free to tag us in if you use Twitter or X. DigiLearn Scott's digital team account and Compet School is the Barefoot account. And we also have on the bottom of the screen there a little link to the DigiLearn Scott site where you can access all the sign up for upcoming webinars.
Sequence of the pictures. So that might